President Trump, former President Trump, took away the personal tax credit where you write off your laundry. You're able to write off the tools you buy in your business. He took that away from the common worker.
Welcome to the We Got Problems podcast with co-hosts Curtis G. Martin, Rhonda L. Brown, and Caliph Johnson Sr., the one and only podcast where solutions get discussed to our community's everyday troubles. Each week, you will hear mind-blowing conversations and actionable tips and strategies that you can implement in your daily life to become more effective. We got problems and we got solutions.
All right, you guys, welcome to the show. This is We Got Problems, where we discuss solutions. I'm Curtis G. Martin. I'm here with my co-host, Rhonda L. Brown.
Hey, everybody.
My second co-host, Caliph Johnson Sr.
Peace, y'all. How y'all doing?
And we have a special guest in the house today, Miss Tiffany Mayfield. Tiffany, go ahead and tell the people a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do.
Thank you, Curtis. I'm excited to be here with you guys this morning. I am, as you said, Tiffany Mayfield, an award-winning tax franchise owner, a best-selling author, and I am currently the CEO and founder of STARTHer Capital, where we help small minority-owned businesses win big with grant funding and correct structuring. So I'm excited to be here with you guys to talk about all types of business and where the money is.
Okay, so let's start out with, we know you do taxes. So how did you get into taxes?
It was pretty much hating the traffic in Houston. I would have to drive. I live on the outskirts, and I would have to drive an hour and 45 minutes in traffic to get to work and pay $7,000 a year on tolls. So that made no sense to me. And the economy was changing, life was changing. And I was like, look, I need to do something different. So I first opened a beauty supply, and it didn't work out because I wasn't ready. So I kept working, but I kept saying, I hate it. I just hate going to a place where I don't feel valued. I'm not being paid what I deserve. So I need to do something for myself. And I was listening to a lot of business coaches say, hey, get out here and start something on your own. So I did that. I'm an accountant by trade. I had been an accountant over 25 years. And I said, look, this tax game, let me figure this out, because I've been paying taxes since I've been able to pay taxes. So I want to know how this tax game goes. So I found someone online. She was offering an opportunity. And the thing about it, she was a real person, because people offer those opportunities every day. And it's just for them to make money. She actually taught us how to start the business, run the business, and make your money with the marketing. And what I know for sure now, the money is all in the numbers. How many clients you have opposed times what you charge. So when you look out here, if you looking at these scammers charging $9,500 a pop, guys, you're getting scammed. So I said, let me try it and see what I can do. So I got into it, but I made a promise to myself. I would start things and never finish them. I was notorious for that. Mm-hmm. So I made a promise to myself. I'm going to stick with this no matter what. First year, I made $500. Anybody else would have quit when people around me were saying, oh, you're doing it wrong. I'm making $150,000 in 4 months. I was like, everybody keeps telling me that, but are your clients satisfied? You know, you can go out and make $150,000 easy in taxes if you're charging and underworking. Because in the tax game, it's most what I know that I've learned. A lot of tax preparers just do data entry. If you came to them with an issue, they couldn't help you, because they're looking at a W-2. What's in box 1, they're putting it in box 1. What's in box 2, they're putting it in box 2. Then they put your kids on, boom, you get an $8,000 check. But I love to research. I love to analyze everything. Why is it? Why are we always chasing this earned income tax credit? I was very interested in it. Boom. I all types of articles. Under President Reagan, the owner at the time, the president of H&R Block and President Reagan were good friends. So they're in Congress, lobbying, of course. Mm-hmm. And he tells President Reagan, why don't we give them, so you can imagine who they are, mm-hmm. Something to make them think they're doing something while we give the higher tax breaks to us. So they gave us the earned income tax credit, the child tax credit that people chase every year. There's more to it than that. And I found that, and I fell in love with that I can take your taxes and legally, by the law, get you more money back, save you money than somebody that's doing data entry and they're only and care about the child tax credit because it gets you $6,000, $8,000. My clients, you see me posting it, they're getting hundreds of thousands back, 30,000, 60,000. Yes, they're business owners. Some of them are gamblers at the casino, but they're getting those big refunds because I apply the law to their taxes. So I'm really interested in that because number one, I'm not going to jail for you, with you, or to come see you. So I'm not doing anything that's going to get me in trouble. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to do that. So that's what makes me different from most tax companies. I really care about my clients. I really care about the tax law. I'm always watching. I'm disappointed that President Biden has not done anything besides give money to lower income families. Of course, we are in a pandemic. It's still not over. The money is needed, but there are tax laws that could be in place for middle class. From what I've learned in the tax business, I've been in taxes 10 years. Single people that earn $75,000 and up pay more than anybody else. And married filing jointly pay top tier taxes over everyone. So when you look at those two groups, former President Trump took away the personal tax credit where you write off your laundry. You're able to write off the tools you buy in your business. He took that away from the common worker. And guess what? We have nothing now but the child tax credit. So they take the personal credits away.
Do the tax laws change often?
Almost daily during tax season, yes. Generally every year, but mostly during tax season. And one of the biggest things I've learned this year and that I'm able to share with my clients this year, President Trump did not lie when he said, I'm coming after everybody that owes the IRS besides his people. Mm-hmm. This year, for the first time in 10 years, I've seen more of us have liens on our bank accounts and our homes and our properties than ever before in the 10 years I've been doing taxes, preparing taxes. More tax liens. They're coming after you if you do not file. They're coming after you. If you're making money and you don't file taxes, they are coming with the lien.
So how do you recommend that business owners get ready and prepared to do their taxes around when it's time?
Now. Start preparing now. Now is the time. I'm going to start posting some webinars that I'm hosting for the next 8 weeks. I'm going to have virtual and live webinars and meetings with clients. I had one last month and it was very successful with business owners. It is time now because the number one thing that I want anybody in that here to understand is every major thing that happens in your life affects your taxes. If you get married, it affects your taxes. You get divorced, it affects your taxes. If you buy a house, you sell a house, you buy property, you have a child that goes to college, you have a family member that dies, it affects your taxes. So if you think that, it doesn't matter, it does matter. If you have a disabled child that you're taking care of, a disabled parent that you take care of, and you have to know the laws of that you're taking care of, it affects your taxes. So everything we do We open our business, we close our business, we invest in our business. It affects our taxes. And we're getting left out because we don't know.
So what's some of the biggest mistakes you see people make with their taxes?
Some of the biggest mistakes is, number one, they don't file. They won't file. And when they do, they don't know what the tax preparer is filing on their taxes. I suggest you go over line by line what they have done, because when the audit comes, I guarantee you, most tax preparers don't understand how to help you during that audit process. So if they can't help you and they're putting on there that you went to college and you paid for daycare because the daycare tax credit was up to $8,000 per child this past tax season, and you get audited, you don't even know what that audit is saying. So here you are with a person they're learning the wrong way. And the number one way to know that you're getting scammed, or not, I won't call it scam, that you're paying for something that you don't have, is understand how much you're paying for it. So if they're telling you, I'll get you 20,000 back, but you got to give me 3,500 when it comes, they're getting over on you. They're putting something on your taxes more than likely. And I'm talking about regular people. I'm not talking about if you own a business and you come in there with 3 boxes of paperwork for a tax professional. I'm talking regular Mary Jane coming in to get her taxes done. She has 3 kids and she gets a $30,000 refund and she earns $11,000 a year. The math ain't mathing on that. And the IRS may let it go through, but they're going to come back.
With the people with businesses, how important is it for them to have a separate bank account?
Those liens, is 90% of those liens is because they have commingled the money. One of the clients that I'm working with right now today, the IRS does not care that he commingled that money. He can't prove what's business and what's personal, and he owes what they say he owes. There's nothing we can do about it. So if you're interchanging the money in one account, that's your personal account, or it's just your business account. Some people just operate out their business account. The audit is going to be for your personal account. And when it's that business account doesn't even count to them. That's what another client is going through now. I'm starting to do help people with problems. I don't like that because it's a lot of work. I think next year I'm going to go away from people with these big problems. When the IRS says, hey, you owe us $2 million and they put a lien on your account, I think I'm going to get away from that because it's really difficult and it usually takes months to fix stuff like that.
Okay. So we know you're into helping small business get funding and get grants. Who qualifies for grants?
Everybody. Anybody with a business qualifies. Anybody with a business idea qualifies. Anybody with a business vision qualifies. There are grants for your vision, your idea, and for your existing business, even if your business hasn't made a dime. Everyone qualifies.
And how much of it do you actually have to spend on that idea, or how could it be allocated within the business?
Generally, every tax, let's say I'm going after a Verizon grant. They ask, what are you going to do with the money? How are you going to allocate the money into your business? What are the biggest obstacles you have, and how would this money help resolve your obstacles, get you to a different place, pivot your business? So those questions are asked. And a lot of times we're using that money for technology. We're using it to pay the rent in the office. We're using it to hire, to get working capital. During the PPP process, and this is how I got into the grant business. During the PPP process, my tax clients were coming to me, hey, we need help. Do you know about the PPP? So what I did not want to just do it on a whim. I went out and found a guy that works with the SBA. He's an SBA attorney, and he was actually processing PPP. So I said, hey, do you mind training my team and I so we can figure this out? Because my clients, and he had a lot of people coming to him as well. So we ended up partnering together, and we did the PPP process. But what kept a lot of people from being eligible or qualifying was their businesses were not set up properly. They were not structured properly. They did not have a business banking account, so they did not qualify. A lot of the grants are asking you those questions. A lot of the grants are not. So some of the grants you can get away with it. There are a lot of them. They just want to help you build your business. They want you to help you hire. But during the PPP process, I saw that we were losing. We weren't getting the money. And I was like, wait a minute, how can I help small businesses get this funding? So hired grant writers to help me. So I'm paying $2,500 a session to work with a grant writer to learn how this process works. That's when I realized this money's always been here. Why didn't we know? Why didn't we know before the pandemic? Go ahead.
Is the grant process, is it easy? Can anybody do it? Or would you suggest that we get a grant writer to?
I would suggest, depending on what you're going after. Federal grants, absolutely, you need a seasoned grant writer. Federal grants are totally different. And what I learned about federal grants, they just don't want your business alone. They want your business to be affiliated with a faith-based business, an engineering company. It's a big, because they're giving away millions and millions of dollars at a time. So they don't want to just give it to you. They want to give this big grant, whether it's, let's say, a research grant, and you have a what is the home that take care of the people, the elderly that have no one. You have one of those homes, and you're helping these people out. Well, you decide, I want a bigger space and I want a hospital or a hospice. Let's say you want a hospice. So this grant you're going after is for minority-owned businesses that help people with sundowners, for example. But they want you to be faith-based. They want you to have a research team to work on those projects because they want you to research sundowners. And what that is people that have Alzheimer's, and at night their mindset changes. So once the sun goes down, they go deep into the what did I just call it? The
Alzheimer's.
They go deep into that Alzheimer's at that moment, as soon as the sun goes down. So they want you to do research on that. They just don't want to fund the business. They want other things to happen so we can get resolutions and problems. So the grants are really big. And then there are contracts where you may just get a contract from your business, a federal contract. But what we go after are corporate grants. Like I said before, Verizon, AT&T, there are so many I can't even name. There was a grant last month that was an amazing $75,000 grant that was given by a prison winery company. The big thing about that grant, they want you to do a 9-minute video on why you deserve the grant. And it had to be funny. And only 7, when we were going through it, we saw that only, I think, 7 companies applied for it. They have to take that money off the table and give it back, or put it back into the pot, because we're not going after, because we don't know. And one thing I know for sure, and I was the same way, I didn't want to do anything with video.
Mm-hmm. So what? Okay, go ahead. I was going to say,
ask you about a video, go after that one. That's the best one, because nobody's doing it.
Okay, so what happens with the funding? Like if my organization was approved for some fund and we don't use all money allocated to what it was supposed to be used for, what happens then?
It's up to you. Corporate grants, once you are awarded the funds, they walk away. Some are coming back. There was just one with the NAACP and Damon Dash that closed this week. Damon Dash would now, this is the quickest grant I've seen since the PPP. Generally, PPP, you apply for it, you get it in 2 or 3 days. This grant with the NAACP was a $25,000 grant. Damon John was interviewing you. It closed to Thursday. He's interviewing next week. Well, they're choosing the winner next week, and he's interviewing you for his broadcast the next week. And usually grants don't work like that, but they don't ask. Generally, they will say, when you tell them what you need it for, they're accepting your word that this is what you're going to use the grant for. If you don't use it, I would suggest put it back into your payroll, because a lot of times payroll is one of the hardest things we can meet is payroll, or the rent, because rent's gone up so high everywhere. Pay your rent for months. Last year, I was able to get over $100,000 in grants in my business. I paid my rent for a year. I paid my internet rent. Commercial internet, commercial utilities are more expensive. So I paid that up a year. So it's up to you, but you use it in your business to keep your business flourishing in order for your business to grow.
Oh, wow. That's good. So any business can get these grants, or what type of businesses don't qualify?
Businesses that sell weaponry like guns, anything in the sex business, and marijuana. However, I did see in California there's a grant for marijuana, but that's California. So
I was looking at some stuff once, and I have a credit repair company, and it's hard for us to open bank accounts as credit repair companies. It's hard for us to get people that will do the funds for us. So how about credit repairs? Credit repair, can they get grants as well?
Yes, I'm sure in Georgia, no, because in Georgia you can't do credit repair, but anywhere else, yes. Okay. Generally, most of the grants, I would say, is this, as they would tell you in their introduction or in their terms and conditions, who they won't give the grant to. I've seen some that say people that aren't on insurance companies. I've never seen the credit industry, because sometimes when they ask you what industry you're in, generally they may just say business to business. So they're not asking, are you a credit company? I haven't seen that before.
Oh, that's good.
Okay. Do you have an accountability partner or a coach or mentor?
How do you do it without it? Yes, ma'am. This was a hectic week for me, and I just told my business coach, hey, I have to take a break. I have to. Or I don't know. I was just on edge. I had to take a break. If you do not have an accountability partner, I don't even know how you're in business. If you don't have a business coach, someone that knows more than you, why are you in business? That is my question, because I actually graduated from Goldman Sachs 10,000 cohort class earlier this year. If I didn't have them, if I didn't have the accountability, if I didn't have 2 business coaches, if I didn't have them on my team with me, I probably would be at the beach somewhere right now doing nothing. Because how do you learn to be a leader? I'm the firstborn, the oldest cousin on both sides of my family. I feel like I was born a leader, but how are you a business leader if you don't have leaders in your circle that are mentoring you and showing you what it really takes? My business coach now is, she's coaching us on how to be a CEO. This is the best training I've had. And I always say, and I've had 3 business coaches in my lifetime so far, it's better than a college degree.
Okay.
You learn more. You learn so much more.
Okay. With work being as hectic as it is right now and life being as busy as it is, how do you balance family and work?
That's crazy. That's the crazy part. Generally, I've been living by myself. For the last 10 years. So I'm pretty much the head of everything, but I am learning. I promised myself and God that this year I would give more time to my family because I put everything in my businesses. I don't go anywhere. I just saw a really good friend of mine. I usually go to his birthday parties every year. I totally forgot. And it was last night. So I really want to be able to step back. I don't have that balance, honestly, yet because I'm on a mission to earn 100,000 in 90 days. So until I get off that mission, I won't be doing anything but business.
Uh-oh. That kind of leads to this question. I think you might have just answered it, but what's your why and why is it that you do what you do?
My why is retirement. When I left corporate America, I had nothing saved. So I'm on my retirement run. I'll be 54 next month. I feel like everything I'm doing is about the next 7 years. I have a 7-year plan, growth plan, and then I want to be out. I just want to be able to live because I do not want to live the way I see my mother, her sisters, and the way I saw my grandmother living. I am big on you, meaning the government, being able to tell me how I live or where I live. So I am so serious about getting that information for myself and getting to the place where I can retire and live comfortably. Because if I could live off $2,500 right now, that's like living under the bridge in Houston. $2,500 a month does nothing for you. You can't even get an apartment because you have to earn 3 times the rent.
Mm-hmm. So that brings us to our next section. It's our rapid fire. So quick 20-second answers, whatever comes to mind first. So were there times where you thought it wouldn't work?
Absolutely. I quit this week. I quit.
Okay, what's the most important thing you've learned in life?
To let go and let God.
Oh, wow. Hey, if you can go back and talk to your 18-year-old self, what would you say?
Just relax. It's not that serious. Have fun. Just relax.
If you could sit down with somebody and have a conversation with somebody dead or alive, who would it be?
Oprah Winfrey, of course. Just to see her business structure and what she's done, her mindset, just to get a piece of it. Just a piece of it. I think I could probably jump off of a mountaintop and fly.
Okay. People always say you should save money and invest. What are some of the type of investments that you have, and what are some of the assets you would recommend?
For saving money, I am big on, number one, you have some cash money in your house. Because one of these hurricanes that came through here, nothing worked. And we couldn't get anything. So I was big at that point. You at least have, and it can be possible, but it's hard to at least have 6 months of your living expenses saved up in cash. I do believe pretty big in annuities. A dear friend of mine, we've been friends since we were kids, and I learned this from their grandfather, the power of annuities. He had a 3rd grade education. He was a multimillionaire on real estate. I believe real estate is a great investment and a great asset to have. He left, I think, 10 rental properties and a gas station. Oh, so when you leave things like that to your family with annuities, and he was living off of one of the annuities he was able to leave. So when you look at how much money that is, because we have to understand the money that was in the 60s, it cannot parallel to the monies from in the 2022 at all. So if we get these annuities, if you want to, something I learned from a friend of mine, go and open your $15,000 CD and take out a loan against it. Keep yourself prepared for the worst. I'm a strong, positive person, but I do know that bad days come and you're going to need that money. And I would strongly say this, and you didn't ask me this, but I answer it. Get you some damn life and health insurance. I don't care how much money you have. You do not have enough money to pay for cancer medicine, heart medicine, stroke medicine. You cannot. You'll go broke the first week.
Big facts.
Get you some insurance.
If you can recommend one book, what would that book be?
I just but about money. I'll get back to you later about it. It's a very small little book. I'm looking for it, see if it's on my desk somewhere. No, it's in my bag.
Not The Richest Man in Babylon, huh?
No. I haven't opened that one yet. But it's about the man that tells the guy about, he told him to write him a check for the amount of money he wished he could have. And the guy wrote him a check, but he was trying to figure out how to become a millionaire overnight. The Instant Millionaire, that's the name of it. Very good book. It's very simplistic. A 15-year-old could read it and understand. Very simplistic.
What tip would you give us to make our community a better place?
Keep doing the work because it's needed. I see so many dumb podcasts about relationships and sex and things that don't even matter when you're 30, anything, because every 5 years we change. That's how I look at life. And when we're out here giving real information and real solutions to the problem, life is great. But when you're adding fuel to at the time, that's your mindset. It's just your mindset at the time. Just keep living. It's going to change.
That's my mom.
I love that.
Oh, I love that line.
Because these other podcasts, relationship podcasts, I think should be banned, really. Because if you're 23 with a podcast about relationships, you don't know anything. You're 28, 29, 30, 35, you don't know. I believe 40 is a good age to start talking about relationships because you've lived. You found yourself a little bit. I didn't do the self-discovery until I was like 40, 43, 47. I evolved.
As you grow, you get better. I love that line. Keep living. Okay, so this is a question that's really interesting. And we heard you say that you take a little break every now and then, but how do you celebrate your wins?
Oh, my goodness. Last time I went to a retreat by myself. I'm big on being by myself. I'm not a loner, but I'm an introvert. So I'm big on understanding and feeling people's spirits. So a lot of times it's so negative. I like being by myself. I love being alone, spending quiet time, just reflecting.
All right, we're going to kind of wrap it up now, but how can the people find you if they need to get their taxes done or they need to try to get some business funding? How can they find you?
I would strongly suggest if you want to get with me on the grants, you go to bit.ly/access granted 2022. And that's bit.ly/access granted 2022. You have access to everything, webinars, you get a phone call, you get text messages, you'll get what you need. And you're able to download a free link full of grants that you can try to apply for. Also, for the taxes, you would go to Tax Prep Evolution, the Mayfield firm, and I'm there everywhere.
All right, good stuff. Hey, so Rhonda, you have anything you want to leave the people with?
Do good business. Make sure you're keeping track of what you got going on.
There we go. How about you, Mr. Caliph?
Oh man, this is a dope interview. I think if you don't do anything and you didn't get anything out of this interview, please make sure you file your taxes and please see someone who knows what they're doing, because the last thing you want to do is be in jail because you ain't doing something right.
Yep, I'm gonna leave the people with, hey, you guys. A lot of times when we start business, the first thing we run out of is money, and we always talk about leveraging our personal credit to get that money. When you have somebody that knows where to get the money, you guys contact Tiffany and get with her and let her take you to the bag. She could take you to the bag, right?
Exactly.
Hey, you guys, we got problems, but we also have solutions, and we out.
From the team at CRC Empire, we want to thank you for listening. To stay connected with us, like, share, and subscribe to the We Got Problems podcast. You can find us on social media platforms at Curtis Martin 247, at Rhonda Wrights Official, and at the_trash_vegan_. We got problems and we got solutions.